pleased to be joined by Robert Gregory, the Deputy Superintendent of the Newark Public Schools. Good to see you, Robert.
Great to see you, Steve.
For those who do not know or understand about the Newark Public Schools, describe it.
The Newark Public Schools is a extremely diverse school district with roughly around 34,800 students in it. It is a school district going through a historic moment now as we are beginning the transition to local control. It's a school district in recent years who has seen results in student achievement and student outcomes, notably increase in graduation rates citywide, but also an increase in standardized assessment scores on the PARC assessment, the recent
The standardized test.
Yes, the state
Robert,
assessment.
go back for a second.
Yes, sir.
The local control piece.
Yes.
Put it in context. The state of New Jersey has been in control of the Newark Public Schools for 20 years-ish.
20 plus years. So I've been in the district now for 20 years. I came in the year after the state took over the school district. So it is the right time for us now to determine the future of the Newark Public Schools, and for parents, for teachers, for local administrators, for elected officials to have more of a say in the course that we take.
You know, it's interesting. The state came in, not just in Newark, but in Jersey City and
Yes.
also in
Patterson.
New Jersey. The state comes in because the Constitution back in 1947 said the state's ultimately responsible if they deem over a period of time that a public school system is not doing what it needs to be doing on behalf of the students. It comes in and takes over.
Yeah.
How would you describe that experience of the state being in control of a local school district?
So interestingly enough, I've served in multiple capacities in the school district. I was a classroom teacher for 9 years. I started my own school here in the city of Newark, American History High School, which is a magnet school.
Describe what a magnet school is for folks.
A magnet school is a school that screens students. In essence, you have a pool of applicants and you choose which kids you feel will best fit the program that you're doing in the school based on their historical grades, based on their outcomes
Their
on
interest as
standardized
well.
assessments, their interest, of course.
So you've ran a school. You've run a
Run
school,
a school.
excuse me. You've been a teacher.
Yeah.
You've been an administrator on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
State in control. What was that like?
No impact.
What do you mean?
No impact on the daily operations of the school district. No impact on the pedagogical practices that I implemented
Teaching process.
as a classroom teacher. I never realized that it was a state-operated school district, if you will. I went through a traditional educational program leading up to my career in teaching. So I've always been one to follow research-based practices, implement them with fidelity, and get positive student outcomes.
Well, Rob, let me ask you this. When it comes to urban education, be it in Newark or Jersey City, Brooklyn, the Bronx, or anywhere we're seeing, and Philadelphia, we have a big audience down there as well. What works?
What works is this is a science. This is a profession that, especially in urban education, where you have to have a systemic, comprehensive, strategic approach to impact grossly intertangled ecological systems.
Whoa, that sounds heavy.
It's very heavy. So in essence, when you're dealing with complex ecological systems,
What do you mean ecological system?
ecological meaning human beings and the type of the environment that they work in and live in, which produces obviously our students and some of the challenges that they bring.
Do you
to the
believe,
table.
Robert, that it is more challenging to teach and succeed with a student in most urban areas than it is for a community that's suburban, wealthier, and with more
I do.
resources? You do.
I do very
Is it
much
something
so.
about the student?
It absolutely has nothing to do with the student, actually. It has a lot to do with the professional. And when I say that, past inequalities shape current realities. And so, in essence, if you are going to influence something that is grossly intertangled, this thing we call intergenerational poverty, where stagnant educational outcomes is one of the core components of it, you have to bring your best to the table. And when we talk about bringing our best to the table, it is implementing these research-based practices with fidelity, and it is not settling for mediocre teaching practices or leadership practices. So we do need dynamic, highly effective teachers, which has a more positive impact on student achievement and outcomes.
Why are you optimistic about these kids? Why are you optimistic about public education in Newark and ultimately urban education in the nation? Because you sound it, in spite of all the challenges.
I'm one of them.
What do you mean? Describe your background.
I was born here in the city of Newark in the early 70s. My parents met at Kent State University in 1970, where they graduated.
Wow.
They
At the Kent State? Where it all went down.
Where it all went down. My father is a product of the city of Newark, my mother from the Philadelphia area. And they came back to Newark mainly to join a movement here in the city, a movement that was
Civil rights movement?
A movement that I would more so call it the cultural nationalist movement, a movement led by Imamu Baraka. And coming back to the city of Newark, where I was born, I was raised by this city. So my roots are in the church in this city, Metropolitan Baptist Church. That's the church I was raised in. I went to a phenomenal elementary school, Harriet Tubman School. Harriet Tubman School ended at 6th grade.
Right.
And my mother did not feel that there were middle schools or high schools in the city that could adequately serve my sister and I. And so she made the difficult decision of moving us elsewhere just so we could get a quality education. In moving, I had to leave my church. I had to leave everything I knew as a family. I had to leave my friends. And I had to go somewhere else just to get in my mother's eye, a fair shot at this thing we call the American dream. I don't want it for these kids, and I'm passionate about ensuring that they have the same exact opportunities that I had in life. When I graduated from college, I had this mission to bridge the gap between suburban and urban education. And I know for a fact that all children can learn. I know for a fact that kids can achieve despite their birth circumstances. And I know for a fact adult actions lead to student outcomes.
Robert Gregory is Deputy Superintendent of Newark Public Schools as we're taping this program. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by New Jersey Resources, the Northward Center, TD Bank, Hackensack Meridian Health, Verizon, the Turl Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, and by NJM Insurance Group. Promotional support provided by NJ Advance Media and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association.